To get a better understanding of China's economic picture, I am joined by Yan Liang, professor of economics at Willamette University. Good to see you. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Sean.
First, let's talk big picture about China's economy. Obviously, the lockdowns, Shanghai, and the important financial hub, under severe lockdown for 2 months, and it seems the effects have been harsh to the economy. What's your take?
Yes, I think you're absolutely right. Last month in April, we have seen a big decline in PMI, both in manufacturing and also in construction service sectors. So because of the strict COVID lockdown, the economy comes to almost a halt in this big financial center, a very important city in China. So there are a lot of concerns about these COVID restrictions, coupled with the very unfavorable international environment, that the Chinese growth is going to be slowed down, and there's a lot of concerns about whether the 5.5% annual growth target can be achieved. So I think now there are many welcome signs. For one is that stricter lockdown has been easing, and for two, the latest PMI in May have shown both for manufacturing and also non-manufacturing sectors have improved quite a bit. So I think the near future, the prospect is improving.
Yan Liang, I'm going to ask you to sit tight for just a second. We're really having a lot of audio difficulties. Let us try and redial it in. In the meantime, we're going to move on, continuing to talk about China, and hopefully we will get back to you in just a second. Okay, we're going to take another stab at talking to our good friend Yan Liang about the Chinese economy. We were talking about Shanghai. I want you to kind of back up a little bit and talk about that, and also Beijing and part of this zero tolerance policy, because in many ways, it's been kind of a 1-2 punch for China's economy, Beijing and Shanghai. Where does it stand now that Shanghai has reopened?
Right. So I think the trend is that, COVID is much sort of under controlled, and so now we need to balance and trying to boost the economy. So Shanghai has been reopened, and so has been Beijing. Friends actually told me that they now have another traffic jam today, which is a good sign. So as your reporter talked about, bus and subway services are restored. So is the basic railway. Malls are open, supermarkets are open at their 75% of capacity. Schools are partially open with volunteer attendance. So I think all these are good signs that once the COVID is under control, the economy will start to restore.
Well, it has been tough sailing, but China's government has made and is making promises to help small businesses, money to keep those shops up and running in terms of also tax cuts as well, moving to that area. What else is Beijing offering, and how closely are people in China going to be monitoring what happens moving forward as they try to get back on their feet?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I definitely think that the economy needs more policy support. The Shanghai government has pledged about $300 billion yuan of support. And like you said, a lot of it has to do with tax and fee cuts, and also rent assistance to businesses. They also have some demand side boost, such as cash incentives for EV purchases, home appliances, trade-in plans, and so on. But I think really more can be done, because when you think about $300 billion worth, 300 billion yuan worth of support, that's less than 1% of Shanghai's GDP. So I think more can be done in terms of, for example, subsidizing payrolls for small and medium-sized companies, to really try to improve job situation. As we know, last month in April, unemployment rate in China was 6.1%, which is very high. So I think there are a lot of support that are now giving to the businesses, but there should be also more help giving directly to subsidizing people's income and giving them more consumption support.
What is the new normal going to look like for Shanghai in the short term?
Right. I think people will still very cautious. Definitely they will still take measures like wearing masks and maintain social distancing, also regular mass testing for COVID. So all of these, I think, cautious measures are very are very much necessary. And on the other hand, I think businesses are ready to open, but there are a lot of things that need to be put in place. For example, to rehire those workers that are laid off, to reestablish, for example, the supply chain, to get the necessary raw materials, and so on and so forth. So it's going to take some time. But I think, now that the governments and people have the experiences dealing with COVID, and also as people getting more vaccination going on, then I think that would really help to restart the economy.
Okay, thanks very much. We apologize earlier for the ghost in the machine, but our thanks to Yan Liang, professor of economics at Willamette University.